All right, hey everyone, we are back with another fermentation video, and today we're going to be making a sparkling lemonade through wild fermentation. So what you need is a jar, some water, some lemons, and some sugar. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking hot water and I'm going to put the sugar in the water and let it dissolve. I'm using 1 cup of sugar. Now the sugar will of course sweeten our drink, but it'll also serve as food for the bacteria and yeast to feed on. So while the sugar is dissolving in the water, I'm going to prepare my lemons. I have 7 lemons and I'm just going to chop them up. What I'm doing now, I'm just adding some cold water to the rest of the sugar water because I don't want the water to be too hot. If the water is too hot, it will kill all the bacteria and yeast that is on the lemons. So now that we got our sugar water ready and the temperature is good, we're going to just place all of our lemons in there. And I wanted to mention that I use organic lemons because since I am using the peels, I don't want any pesticides to be in my drink. This is actually my first time making this lemonade drink. What inspired it was the pineapple drink that I love to make. I've made the pineapple drink numerous times, so I wanted to see if you can kind of do it with any fruit. I cut up 7 lemons, but that was a little bit too much for this jar, so next time I will definitely cut half of that. So now I'm still trying to fit all the lemons in there. Spoiler alert, I don't actually fit all of them in there. So you'll see me get a second jar and put the rest of the lemon peels in. Which it ended up working out having that second jar because I just used that second jar with the remaining lemons as a tester. So what you see me doing now is just adding some raisins. The raisins actually have yeast that live on their skin. So this will just give the fermentation a little boost. So now I'm going to get something to hold everything below the water because you don't want anything like floating above the water because that can cause mold. And you can use whatever you have on hand. You can even order like a specific weight for fermentation offline, but I just used a jar that I already have. So now I'm just putting a paper towel over it and then I'm just gonna let it ferment. And I'm putting a paper towel over it because you do want airflow, but you don't want anything else like getting into the jar. So that is the purpose of the paper towel. And you can use a cloth or whatever you have on hand, just anything breathable. So pretty much what I'm doing now is that second jar I was telling you about. I actually poured some of the liquid from the first jar, the big jar, into the smaller jar just so that I have the same sugar content in it. And I'm going to do the same with this jar. Place a paper towel and a rubber band. And then I'm going to let them sit and ferment. Make sure you check on it during the fermentation process just to make sure there's no mold and to see what the taste is like. So this is 3 days after fermentation and you can see the bubbles. You can see the bubbles, coming to the top. And I did do a little taste test and we are ready to bottle it up. Bubbles are a good sign. That means that you have some activity going on in there, which is pretty much what the fermentation process is. So I'm pretty pleased with the taste. So now we are just going to bottle it up. I'm going to put it in a flip top bottle because the flip top bottle will help it build up that fizziness. And once you get to this point, if you think it's still a little bit too sweet, you can actually still go ahead and strain it and put it in the flip top bottle and let it sit a little longer and ferment. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to strain the lemons and the raisins because we don't want those in our drink and they won't fit in the flip top bottle as well. So yeah, we're going to strain them. So just a brief recap, this is called wild fermentation, and wild fermentation is just when you take fruit, water, and a sugar source. So the sugar source that I'm using is just raw cane sugar. Or I guess I should say fuel source. So my fuel source is going to be sugar. You can use other things like maple syrup, you can use honey. I'm just using sugar. So pretty much the bacteria and the yeast from the lemons and the raisins and the air all around you are going to come in and they are going to eat all the sugars up. And as they eat, they make bubbles and you get this tangy flavor. So that's pretty much fermentation in a nutshell. And it's called wow because we don't add anything to it. We just put the fruit with the water and the sugar and then let it do its thing. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just pouring the liquid after I've strained the raisins and the lemons from it into this flip top bottle. And the flip top bottle will just help the carbonation to stay within the bottle. Now, if you choose to let it ferment a little bit more, make sure you pop the cap so you don't get an explosion. I've had many explosions and you don't want that. And if you're still here, I want to say thank you for watching and watching this far. I really love making different drinks. You can just be so creative with the different flavors, different fruit. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do with this. All right, so I have filled up my flip top bottle with the drink. So now I'm just going to add just a dash of honey just to give it a little bit of honey flavor, make it just a little bit more sweeter. Because this drink is also for my kids as well. So they, what kid doesn't like a little bit of a sweeter drink? All right, so I'm gonna put the top on. I'm gonna let it sit and ferment for just one more day, just because I wanted a little bit more tangier. And that's also why I added just a dash of honey as well, not only to make it sweeter, but also to give the microbes a little bit more food. Once you're pleased with the taste as well as the fizz, you can go ahead and pop it in the refrigerator. The fridge will help slow down some of the microbes. I want to say thank you again for watching and see you guys next time.